Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the PlantStock channel. If we haven't met yet, my name is Jesse. First of all, I just want to wish you all a happy new year, and I hope you are all as bullish as I am regarding this year's investment opportunities in the plant-based sector. And to start off with, we're going to take a look at the recent article that has a more bullish outlook on Beyond Meat's future. When we have discussed that article, we will also talk about if the current price is still too high or if it could be the perfect opportunity to get in. So stay tuned. And before we get into that, if you want to be part of investing in the plant-based space, want to have an opportunity to get a lot of profits but still be part of making the planet more sustainable, then subscribe to the channel as I will keep you updated on Beyond Meat and other plant-based companies. I would also appreciate an early thumbs up, since it will really help the channel grow and reach a larger audience. Thank you guys, I really appreciate you. Now let's have a quick look at the stock chart. The current stock price is set at $125 and it has actually grown about 65% in the last year, though it has gone down about 40% from its 2020 high. In my opinion, that is to be expected from a company that is disrupting an industry that has been around for years and years, but also an industry that is the most destructive from a sustainable perspective, namely the meat and animal agriculture industry. Volatility is to be expected. We've seen the very same thing with Tesla trying to disrupt the fossil fuel industry. A lot of volatility in its stock price, but today it's in its all-time high, looking pretty and more stable. Yet it's only still the beginning. And in my opinion, we can expect the same path with Beyond Meat. Guys, I'm interested to know, what are your opinions on this? Can you see similarities between Beyond and Tesla? Let us know down in the comments below. Now, let's move on to the article. The article is yet another motley fool text, and they do seem to have a problem on agreeing on the current path for Beyond Meat, considering the last video I did on Beyond, where the author had a grim view of the future. I actually don't see this as a problem, bearing in mind that a nuanced perspective is always of value, no matter how unlikely that other perspective seems to be, in my opinion. Doing one's own due diligence should always be the rule, no matter what other people suggest, and I hope that you guys follow this principle. The author of this article gives us his view why the stock is down currently. Quote, Beyond stock has taken a hit recently for good reason. The company stunned investors with just 2.7% growth last quarter, after growing 69% in the second quarter. Management attributed this to delays in restaurant rollouts and declines in the food service business. Meanwhile, as consumers stockpiled Beyond Meat products in the second quarter, they digested what they bought in the third quarter. It's never a great sign when a hot growth stock decelerates significantly. It could be a sign of either declining demand or increased competition. However, as of now, I'm leaning toward believing management's explanation. Not only is this global pandemic a weird time, but there are plenty of reasons to still believe the longer-term Beyond Meat story heading into 2021. I am pleased that this author actually mentions that one of the explanations for the decline is likely related to the decline in food service business that people had already stockpiled due to the pandemic. Again, I think we can trust in the CEO Ethan Brown's explanation, seeing thus far that he has been nothing but honest and straightforward. The article continues on about what huge opportunities lies ahead for the plant-based sector. Plant-based products only makes up about 1% of the meat market, and that is only in the US. Globally, it is less than that, meaning that there is a lot of room for going after a much larger share of the current market. This brings me back to the ongoing argument that I have stated on this channel, that there is more than ample room for Beyond Meat and other plant-based companies like, for instance, Tattooed Chef, the Very Good Food Company, and others to grow, taking into consideration the vast and gigantic meat market. Quote, meat shortages during the pandemic and millennial concerns over the environment and animal welfare have been cited as reasons for the renewed interest. However, it is also due to better taste, innovative research and development and creative marketing from Beyond Meat and others in the space, such as the idea to put Beyond Burgers in the meat section of the supermarket, not the vegetarian section. And this is also something that has been mentioned on this channel on several occasions. Not only is Beyond the sole industry leader, one of its advantages is that it focuses on the meat industry. It doesn't care about other plant-based companies since they want to disrupt the meat industry and making the planet more sustainable. One way of doing this is to focus more on people who already love meat, trying to offer them a product that mimics the flavor that they are accustomed to, that brings a sense of familiarity and good taste. In my opinion, many people who love meat are not going to be as keen to eat meat alternatives that doesn't mimic the texture or the flavor. No matter if the whole Roni Rona situation has slowed down the revenues, it hasn't slowed down the company's will to innovate and continue its expansion. They're still spending money on R&D and continuing on their expansion plans. Recently, they expanded into China. And not only do they have a large and ever-growing population that is more health and environmental conscious and interested in plant-based living, they are so far unchallenged by any other larger plant-based company, if that would be a concern of yours. Again, the plant-based sector has such a huge room to grow, and considering the size of China, we can expect years ahead of us before anyone needs to worry about competition. People, let's interact a little here. What do you think about the move into China? Let me know down in the comments. If you want more info on that, I have made a separate video on this topic. I'll link it here in the end of the video. So, is the current price too high or is it a steal? I'll get to that soon, so stay tuned. The article highlights another aspect that I have often spoken about, that Ethan Brown is more concerned about taking market share from the overall meat industry than optimizing margins. Now, this might scare off your typical value investor, but if you are long-term and do see the value of disrupting an industry and the focus on expansion and R&D instead of gaining profits in the short term, you will probably also see what I see, that the strategy will be a winning move and will lead to much more profitability down the line, not only for the company, but for us investors as well. Again, last year was basically the first time that Tesla was making a profit after years of losses. A lot of analysts believe that Tesla was a crazy investment. In my opinion, more like a crazy sexy investment. And like Elon Musk, always trying to lower the prices of his cars so the everyday consumer can afford their cars. Ethan Brown has the same plan to make his meat alternatives more and more inexpensive, even if the company in the short term loses money. He realizes that in the end, the company, and more importantly, the planet, will profit from it. When he reaches his goal of making his products cheaper than meat, then you will, as an investor into the company, more than likely feel very pleased with going long term. Patience is the mark of any great investor. So yes, last year was a tough blow for many companies, considering the pandemic, also to some extent for Beyond Meat. But this year, given that the vaccines are on their way, I do believe that we can see a massive positive trend on the way, and Beyond Meat is perfectly placed and ready. Quote, still, Beyond has a number of large restaurant customer partnerships in the works. In fact, Beyond currently has partnerships with 4 of the largest quick service restaurant chains around: Starbucks, Yum Brands, KFC and Pizza Hut, Dunkin' Brands Group, and McDonald's. The McDonald's opportunity is somewhat controversial, as McDonald's will likely not be branding the new McPlant with Beyond's brand and will only likely use Beyond as one of several suppliers. Still, UBS analysts think that even if Beyond is only one of 3 suppliers, it could mean another 120 million annual revenue opportunity. That's significant, as Beyond made just over 400 million in revenue over the past 12 months. The jury is still out on McDonald's. We still don't know. It could be that they do get a full deal with them, and that Beyond Meat's brand will be acknowledged alongside the McPlant. Time will tell. No matter what, as the article proposes, there will more than likely be a deal that will benefit Beyond. And let's not forget the 2 facilities in China and a factory in Europe. BYND's aggressive expansion plans might only be the beginning. I also think that the next big step will be a move into India, which soon will have the largest population in the world. It is a country with a large vegetarian population, but also with an ever-growing meat consumption, which, like China, has led to a higher death rate in heart diseases and cancer. More than likely, people will want to prevent that, and we know that the Indian government, also like China, are putting a lot of effort into becoming much more environmentally sustainable. So letting Beyond Meat expand into the country would make a lot of sense, bearing in mind that the company is the industry leader. Talking about a 400 million revenue during 12 months will soon be a thing of the past. In my opinion, Beyond will soon be $1 billion revenue company per year. So with that said, ask yourself, is $125 still too high, or could it actually be seen as a bargain given the massive opportunities in the years ahead? Let me know what you think, guys. Well, people, that was it for today. I hope you got a lot of value from today's video. And if you did, please smash that like button. And if you want to join the family and keep getting news and analysis on Beyond Meat and other plant-based companies, please make sure to subscribe. If you also wanted to see the video on their expansion into China, I'll link it now in the end. As always, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. These are just my personal beliefs and opinions. Do with them as you wish. Hope to see you soon. Peace out.